So I did my media artifact on a game called Phone Story. The flow of the game is pretty straightforward and really simple. You're challenged to complete missions, which are just the steps of creating electronic devices. It takes you through the mining, the factory conditions, the process of purchasing, and getting rid of products. The structure is linear and there is an end. It stops once you finish the recycling mission. It's a really quick game to get through. It would probably take you about 5 minutes, but it's really educational and teaches you a lot. So, the purpose of the game is to shed light on the horrific situation. The makers of the game are determined to show people what's so wrong about the process of making electronics, and they want to inspire people to change it. With each mission in the game, you're required to act out the process yourself. The game is really easy to navigate, and the interaction is extremely effective. While it does tell you about the horrible process, you're forced to really pay attention by acting it all out yourself. So I'd like for you to think about if you support child labor or not. Many would say that they don't, but if you own any electronics, specifically an iPhone, but not limited to an iPhone, you're indirectly supporting it. The game explains that coltan is a mineral found in many electronics, and young children are often forced to work in the mines in order to get the minerals themselves. So, as you play the game, you can't help but feel sad and guilty. You learn so much about the poor people who make these products, and you're one of the people responsible for keeping that process alive. Because if you think about it, would you want to work 36 hours straight without any extra pay? You probably wouldn't, but the factory workers for Apple do it. When the company's suicide rate was out of control, the solution was to put in suicide safety nets. They didn't want to fix the root of the problem by changing the way they work and changing the atmosphere of the factory. They just wanted to save people after they got to the point of being suicidal, and that's a problem in itself. So in the actual game, you basically just slide the net back and forth, as you can see, in order to stop people and save people from committing suicide. It's not too graphic, I would say. There aren't any real detail to it, but it's definitely hits you when you're trying to catch people jumping off of a building. So technology companies spend a lot of time to hide the horrors behind their products. And they spend a lot of money with the advertisements and everything else. Many people are either unaware of the cruelty or they choose to ignore it and they just buy the bigger, better phones as they come out anyway. So many people don't realize that when they throw away their electronics, companies promise to recycle them, but chances are they're actually being shipped to developing countries. The hazardous materials that are contained in electronics actually contaminate the air and the water in these countries, so it causes a lot of damage around the world.
Soon, we'll introduce a new model that will make this one look antiquated. And you will discard it. It will join tons of highly toxic electronic waste. They say they will recycle it, but it will probably be shipped abroad to places like Ghana, Pakistan, or back to China. There, its materials will be salvaged using methods that are harmful to both human health and the environment. Parts of this phone will contaminate air and water. Others will reincarnate into new products.
So as you can see, the game was pretty eye-opening. You can't help but feel guilty and sad throughout the entire game. It's available to play online at the link provided and is also available on the Android App Store. Not surprisingly, it's been banned from the Apple App Store, so if you have an iPhone, you can't download it on your phone. But take a look for yourself if you'd like to learn more.